Hi everybody, this is an unboxing of the Google Pixel 2 and I wanted to show you what comes inside and also a comparison to an iPhone and a Nexus 5. I have a 5X but not with me, so a 5 will have to do. Here is the phone. Looks pretty nice, feels pretty sturdy in my hand. Inside comes an instruction booklet, a adapter, the infamous dongle, and a USB-C connector. And I believe under here is the power. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to take a short break here and I'm going to unwrap this and then compare this to the iPhone. Okay, here is the unwrapped Nexus. Slip of the tongue. Pixel 2. And it feels good. I don't notice the bezels. People are making a big deal about these bezels. No headphone jack, which sucks, but I've been using Bluetooth and I've been okay with it so far. Yeah, it feels good. It's got a coating on the back, so I've read, across this metal to make it feel better. And I believe it does. What do you think, Hannah? So let's compare that to an iPhone. Alright, here's a normal iPhone 6. I believe they're all about the same nowadays. Up. And let's do it this way. So they look very similar. Looks like the iPhone comes in about millimeter, 2 millimeters shorter. And excuse my cracked screen, this is why I have a new phone. The screen is smaller. The bezels are similar if we put these together. And let's move this one up. Yes, very similar to a iPhone. This is 6, but you get the idea. Oops, let's put this one away. Here we have a Nexus 5. Again, very similar to an iPhone, but the Pixel is bigger and hopefully nicer. So let's turn this thing on. And I will time this afterwards. But they were talking about a 10 to 15 second boot time instead, and there it is. It's already up. Very nice. I'm not sure how the colors are coming here, but it's very warm. There's no blue, as some of the Pixel 2 XL users are saying. Let's do a little bit of this side-to-side action. It's not very discernible, but there are different color shifts, but I am not too worried about that. Straight on, this thing looks pretty good. It's a warm reddish hue. No blues. And I'm going to take a short break again and see if I can set this up. So I am trying to transfer data from this iPhone to this Pixel 2, and that little connector comes in right there. Here's my iPhone connector, and it says check your phone. I did say trust this computer, and I screwed up by I turned this on instead of turning it on. So hold on one second. I'll put this down, try it again. Okay, so now trust this computer. Yes, please trust this computer.  'Computer. 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 Phones are connected. Okay. Next. Alright, we're going to pause again and see what happens after I figure this out. Okay, so I have entered in my Gmail information and it's checking for data. So I think the whole situation here is that they realize a lot of us ex-iPhone users are migrating over, or maybe you have a Samsung or whatever, and you want to move to your new phone, and this is going to be the easiest way possible. Just give you a little dongle adapter to be able to do it, and keep your existing cords and get this thing without having to plug into the computer, download some software. You just go straight from here to there. And that's a pretty good idea, actually. I also want to say that this came in with about a 3/4 battery. That's pretty good, considering it's probably been sitting in a factory for quite a bit. It took about, I'd say about a minute and a half for it to find, to download all it needed to and get to this point right now where it's downloading data. I am going to fool with the screen. I do like how clear it is, but I am looking for a little bit less red. I'm not sure if you can see it on this since the camera, but I'm looking at it and it's a little bit less than this. I know I got white versus black here, but I guess you could let's put this up and it'll be white. And so that versus that, you can kind of see that I like the color of my iPhone so far. I really like the color of, say, a Samsung. I know this is tuned to sRGB, which is true color, versus, well, this is LCD, this is OLED, but the vivid colors are on by default, but I would like to see if I can get it a little bit more to my taste. So I'll be doing that after this. And this is going to take a bit, so I'm going to show my cat who's trying to be cute for me. Anna. She's not going to be cute anymore. So I'm going to take a little break because we have nothing to look at and wait for this thing to finish. So it's finished and it says it wants to copy over, and this is interesting. You'll see that I have 48 gigabytes free on a 64 gigabyte Pixel 2. So I didn't upgrade to the 128, but it's only 48 free, rest is OS. Now I'm going to take up 2 with my stuff. So I'm just going to do it all. There's only 34 megabytes of photos, there's calendars, messages, which don't take that much. There are quite a bit of message attachments, but that's probably from my Outlook. And then a couple contacts and 40 apps. I'll be very interested to see if these apps are going to move over. So I have Airbnb, Alexa, Amazon Shopping, my Candy Crush, that's important. Some games, CNN, home systems. So let's just see how long this takes. And I'm going to push the copy. It's kind of hard to see through a phone. And there it goes. Give me a little animation. Give me the old Google try here. So one thought I had while this thing does this is there's the dongle for the, because we don't have a headphone jack anymore. And I don't mind this too badly. I mean, it's a small enough thing. I can't take it out right now and put it in, but it is white. I have just black, but this is going to stick out a bit, but I have white headphones anyway. It's not the worst in the world. We'll have to see how it works. This will probably break. I'm glad they lowered the price to $9. That's a decent price for something like this. I'll probably just order another one just in case it does break. I'd like to have a backup. I do have Bluetooth headphones now that I really was unhappy when Apple did this, but Google followed suit, and there's not much you can do about it nowadays. But I wanted this phone, and this seems pretty good. The other part is, here is the power supply. Power supply is pretty hefty. Now let's say this is a big, this rivals my 5X when I had it, how big it is. I really like to see how fast this thing's charged. This is going to be interesting for me. And it's going to take a while, so let's take a break. So I'm just going through the setup here. I'm using the fingerprint sensor, and I have to say I love the haptic feedback on the sensor itself. You can really feel it when you're using it. I love this fingerprint sensor on the back of this thing. It makes it a lot easier. It did it very quickly. It's extremely fast. If I was on the iPhone 6, and that thing is dead slow. So I'm happy to. Sorry about that. I'm happy to see it working faster. I know I had the 5X and it was much faster than the 6, so I should have known that it's just going to get better and faster. I'm just reading this. Something about Google Assistant. Teach your assistant to recognize your voice with OK Google. So we're going to get this started. OK Google. OK Google. OK Google. Alright, we're going to be the less secure. I'm going to let this open with OK Google. And let me put in my fingerprint. I'm going to back up to the drive, Google Drive, free up space. I love all this stuff. Location ag. I don't like to send my system data. Okay. Alright, still doing its thing. So that was nice. It let me actually set up some other stuff while it did this in the background. So the iPhone's still letting its information go over, and this thing's still going. Now, I read online that it says 1 minute, but it doesn't mean 1 minute, so it's probably going to take a little bit. So I'm going to come back to this. Hold on, guys. Alright, so it is done. Contacts. It says the apps are done. Contacts are done. Email. Data will sync after setup. Calendar will sync after setup. Message copy. So let's just hit done. To keep receiving SMS messages from iPhone users, you'll need to turn off iMessage on your old phone. You can still use iMessages on other devices like an iPad. Alright, I'm going to have to do that. And Lord, it's still working. Okay, so there it is. Now, I have to say, with a better background, this I don't need this anymore, so let's give you my first impressions of this thing. With a better background, this does look very rich. Extremely. This background is a good background for them to pick. Just touching this thing everything's pretty fluid. There's stuff going on in the background too, so I'm downloading something, and there we go. I'm completing setup. They're installing my apps for me. Now this is going to be very, very interesting to see if I am out of the gate using my Pixel 2 without any problems. And this thing is just going nuts, just downloading stuff like nobody's business. And it's picking up from where I was before. They knew that I liked I had a bill. Oh, okay, well, you know how much I have there, so, yep, it went off. So, yeah, it's picking up stuff. There's 21 updates available. Now, here, let's take a look at this. Okay, we're going to accept that. And Google Camera is updating, so what's new? Mute camera shutter sounds. HDR plus, video stabilization, smart burst. So it's supposed to be doing all the things that they promised. So I'm very happy about that. Let's see where my updates are. No problems found. Okay, great. It's downloading just about everything. Let's try Google Assistant. Yep, hit that. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Okay. That isn't the phone, that's somebody texting me. Well, that was quick. It was very, very quick. Let me try this again. Google, what's the weather tomorrow?
Tomorrow in New York City, it'll be sunny with a high of 73 and a low of 55.
Now, just for giggles, this is a 6, but let's see how Siri does. What? No, okay. What is the weather tomorrow, Siri? What is the weather tomorrow, Siri? Lord almighty, I can't get this thing to work. What is the weather tomorrow, Siri? Yeah, screw that. I'm done. So, as you can see, the Google Assistant works very well. Let's just see how it works with it off. What's the weather next week? Nope, I'm going to unlock it.
Here's the forecast for New York City.
There you go. What's the population in New York City?
The population of New York City was 8.538 million in 2016.
It's coming through in stereo. Let's see what's happening here. Still completing the setup. Getting Uber going. 13 out of 48. It's getting a little warm, but oh, battery's down to 62%. That was quick. Okay, well, we're going to play around with this, and I'll come back in a second. So I'm in the settings right now. It's still downloading a bunch of junk. So, but I'm in the settings, and I found the vivid color. That was on by default, so I turned it off just now. And let's look at this. Yeah, that's not as good. Oh, it is a moving image. That is pretty cool. Using up my battery. Okay, let's now go to back and turn that back on. I can find it. Okay. Yeah, it's similar. It's not my favorite colors, but I'll read up online if there's something I can do in dev options. Or there was some talk of Google actually changing the settings around so you can make this more vivid than it is now. We'll see. It's not bad. I mean, the screen is gorgeous. I mean, I am not complaining about the screen itself. I have no problems with any of this business about side to side. I know that the XL is having that problem, but I don't see any difference when I do stuff like this. It looks deep and rich, and it's 1080p. 1440p would have been nice, but I got a 4K TV and a 1080p TV, and I can barely tell the difference between the two. Yeah, one is a little bit richer, a little bit better, but in the end, I think we're kind of splitting hairs. 1080p seems to be pretty good. I do like the size of this, though. This is what I'm going to come back to. So this is fits in my hand pretty well. It's starting to get a little too big at some point. I'm not going to be too happy if I have to go too much higher than this. Let's go back to my iPhone. This is more just a little bit side to side, a little bit easier to hold, but I'm getting a bigger screen, so that's nice. Thickness, it looks like we are about even. Oh, here we go. So this is on sleep mode, and it's telling me it's 60-55, and it's Thursday, October 19th, and it's downloading still. So on my cracked iPhone, nothing happens, of course. So yeah, I think all in all, I'm pretty happy with this phone so far. Probably going to keep it. I'm going to go give it a old SIM card over at T-Mobile for that 350 deal, 325 deal they had, and I think it's a keeper. So guys, if you like it, don't like or subscribe because you won't see much of this. But I'm glad you stuck around. Thanks.